Hello, welcome back to Engaged in Divorce,
where I wear the rings.
And I'm trying to figure out these damn things.
We hope you all are doing well as the new year has begun and we're in full swing into 2023.
Yeah, wait, isn't it weird that it's already like nearing the end
of January?
Yeah, isn't that weird?
It's already January 17th. So,
yeah. It's very weird.
It is. But it feels loud.
I feel like I'm, yeah.
I feel loud too. I'm like,
I feel kind of loud. We didn't
like
adjust our levels before we started
like,
recording.
So, hopefully that's better.
Hopefully. Let us know.
Yes.
So, how are you?
I'm pretty solid, not gonna lie. I've been having a pretty good couple weeks. So, yeah. How are you?
You've been busy.
I have. I've been staying pretty busy with 3 jobs and taking care of the little rugrats, my dogs.
Yeah. What's that face for?
I don't know.
Okay.
I was just thinking.
That's her thinking face.
How are you?
I'm all right. I'm coming back to YouTube this week. I've taken like such a break.
Yeah.
I posted in December a few times, but they were all sponsored videos. I'm sure people were like, huh? She's only posting sponsored content.
She's one of those.
She's one of those people. I always make the most money in December, and then the rest of the year is like really slow. But December, it's like, just pop them out.
Yeah.
So coming back this week.
Nice.
To kind of share more about like the last year and a half.
Okay.
It's so wild to me just how much has happened in the last year and a half. And
yeah.
So much has happened for me that like I forget. I don't know. You just kind of, when you go through every day, you forget how much you've actually overcome.
Mm-hmm. Till you actually think about it.
Yeah. And then you process it and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. So, yeah. The long answer of that is I'm doing okay.
Sometimes that's all you can do.
Yeah.
Is do okay.
Mm-hmm. How are you all doing?
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know.
We like harmonized.
Let
us know. Today's going to be a fun episode.
Yes. I found these toxic dating trends of 2023. So we're going to go over the list and review them and talk about each one. Mm-hmm. They have so many terms now for dating.
I didn't even realize they existed.
It's so funny. Oh my goodness. I was telling Dad and I, he was talking about how like if something were to happen to Mom or their marriage, like he would never go back out into the dating world. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, that's because it's really confusing. And he was like, dating's always been confusing. And I'm like, no, Dad. Here's the system.
Oh, so that's why you looked him up?
Well, no, they actually popped up in my newsfeed on Facebook, I think, and I was like, I'm gonna do these for or Instagram. I don't remember where I got them from, to be honest. But yeah, I was explaining to Dad, it's a whole process. I'm like, everyone's dating each other and sleeping around with each other until you decide.
Did you cut your hair?
I was like, where are you looking? No,
it looks so much shorter today.
I mean, I cut it like a month ago.
I got really distracted. I was like, I really thought you cut it to like your shoulders for a second.
No,
it looks really short.
I would not.
It looks good.
That's what I said I think it was last week. I said it was like too short.
What?
They cut it. No, here's what happened. Sorry, I have a really bad memory. We got off track, but here's what happened. My hairstylist is on maternity leave right now.
Okay.
And I trust her and love her, but she couldn't do my hair. And I was like, I just need a hair change.
Yeah.
So I went to this girl that I had never used before.
Yeah.
And she was super freaking expensive, you guys. Like, okay, normally I can walk out like $250. That includes the tip.
Yeah.
With her, it was like 400 and something.
Oh my God. That's not good.
Well, yeah, it was so much money. And honestly, I'm kind of like, I like it, but it's not what I really wanted. And then what was happening is when it was processing, I like grabbed my hair for something and my hair was coming out in like clumps.
Oh no.
And I started panicking. And so I think like she didn't cut that much off, but like my hair was like damaged because it got so blonde. And I'm like, it's the same exact shade of blonde I've always had with my other hairstylist and my hair never came out with her. So That's the
Sus.
story of that. I was literally freaking out when I saw my hair just coming out in chunks.
Wow.
I'm like, I'm not gonna do that again. Anyways,
I'm sorry. I just noticed how short it was.
that's why.
It looks good. I don't know. I wasn't expecting
It's too short for my liking, but
It's cute.
it's fine. There's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah. It's very
Except
true.
let it grow out. I hate cutting my hair short.
Yeah.
So.
I'm scared to do that. I want to really bad because I'm tired of my hair, but like I'll probably cut it tonight. I'll probably just do some more curtain bangs. Yeah. And I just usually trim it every couple months, but I just do it in my bathroom after I shower. So anyway, back to the dating. I'm sorry.
We got way off topic.
Wow. Okay. Rewind. So you were talking to Dad about dating.
I was just explaining to him how it's like a whole process. Everyone's dating and sleeping around with each other.
Yeah.
And then when you like find someone you really like, you have to have the exclusivity conversation.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you're boyfriend and girlfriend. You'll be exclusive for a bit, and then you have to have the separate conversation for boyfriend and girlfriend. And then, yeah, it's just so different
Yeah.
than it used to be. So I was explaining that to him, and he was just like, that sounds really confusing. I'm like, yeah, tell me about it. Now you got a list of all these toxic dating trends. It's like, wow, dating is confusing.
Yeah, that's
It's
interesting.
crazy.
I know a lot of them are on like TikTok and they'll like talk about them, but I'm not on that side of TikTok, so I did not know these, like all of these existed.
yeah.
So
Right.
this will be fun.
Yeah. So this was actually made by the Instagram account Loving Me After We, which is an Instagram account I follow, and I think it's like,
About divorce?
yeah, it's like a divorce account.
Gotcha.
Okay, so the first toxic dating trend is called zombieing.
Heard of that one.
So this is when somebody goes MIA,
Yeah.
don't hear from them at all, and then they return to flirt with you out of nowhere. Like they never left.
Return from the dead.
They don't even like say like sorry for not talking to you for months. How are you? They don't like, they just act like nothing happened.
The nerve.
Yeah. I don't think this happened to me. I don't think this one specifically has happened to me.
So it's like ghosting, except they come back
Right.
and act like nothing happened. I've definitely heard of this term before. I think a lot of people go through this one.
Yeah. I think like a lot of narcissistic relationships are like this.
Yeah.
Biggest example is I just hopped on the Sex and the City train. I just watched all the seasons, and now I'm watching And Just Like That, which is like the reboot that just came out.
Iconic.
Listen, it's part of growing up in purity culture. Never being able to watch anything about sex. I'm like, now, if the title has the word sex in it, I'm gonna watch it.
Rebel.
No, but I really love Sex and the City. I got really into it. But Mr. Big, have you watched Sex and the City?
No.
Okay, Big. He's a zombie. He zombies.
Zombie.
Like,
Zombie.
is that a song?
Yeah.
Oh, what
In
song is
your
that?
head. It's called Zombie.
Oh, yeah.
Zombie.
Girl. Oh Lord.
Mr. Big. Mr.
Yes, Mr. Big or Big. So that's like the guy that she's like off and on again the whole freaking show, but they end up together in the end, and it's really frustrating because he's just like, he's not the greatest guy.
Yeah.
And every time that she's in a healthy relationship, he pops back up and tries to sabotage it. So that's what that reminded me of. Is like it's almost like they can sense when you're happy. And like, hey, remember me? Hey. And they like come back in to mess up your life again.
Gross.
And if they have a certain effect on you, it's hard to walk away from that. So,
Run away. Zombies can't run. Very well.
orbiting. Orbiting is when they refuse to text you back, but they continuously like your posts and watch every story that you post.
Oh, that used to happen to me when I was dating.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
They just would ignore you?
Yeah.
But they would watch your stories?
Mm-hmm. Or they would just randomly reply to like my Snapchat story. And I'm like, but you're not going to text me? Okay, cool.
I feel like this happens more often with my actual real friends than like dating. Is it still called
It
orbiting?
is a friend thing for sure.
Is it still called orbiting when it's your
No,
friends?
I think that's called like everyone's busy. Yeah.
I know.
It's different when you're like talking to someone and then they're just like, I'm just going to like go on social media and I'm just not going to text you.
And it probably also depends on like what the conversation is. Because if you're just like, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
To me, that's not a conversation really. Because it's like so surface level. You get what I mean?
It's how you text though. What do you text about? Wow. Cannot believe my dreams and my hopes and dreams.
What?
Like, how do you text someone out of the blue?
I don't know. I would say more if it's like if you text somebody and you ask them like a really important question or you ask for clarification about something and then they don't respond to you, but then they're replying or watching your stories.
Oh, yeah.
That would be different.
Like you're waiting to hear back from them for that. Okay, I see what you mean. Instead of just like, hey.
Yeah. Hey, those of you that are watching us on YouTube, is it better if I turn the light off?
Oh, no, that's dark, isn't it?
No, because my camera picks up the light really well. I feel like this light makes it yellow.
Oh.
So we're going to keep it off.
Ooh, spooky. Just kidding.
It feels dark for us, but it's not for them. Okay, so that is orbiting. The next one is pocketing. This is when someone refuses to introduce you to their friends and family because they aren't 100% sure about you yet.
No. Do not even deal with that for a single second.
Well, this is a conversation in itself. When do you introduce the friends and family?
But this sounds more like you don't want to because you're like, I don't know how I feel about this person. Instead of like you want to protect the relationships you have, like to not introduce them to anyone, not your friends, not your bestest friend that you trust.
Yeah.
You can't introduce them to them. And I get it. It's like a commitment thing. Like you will have to wait until you're committed.
It's true. That last line that says because they aren't 100% sure about you yet.
Yeah.
Don't waste your time on that for sure. There's no way I would be, well, I have in the past. That's why I'm saying now. There's no way I would date somebody who's not 100% sure.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what's the point?
Right.
You're literally just setting yourself up for heartbreak if you're with somebody who just sees you as an option.
Yeah.
You're not an option.
That's if you want to talk, have a hookup, whatever. But like if you're actually dating someone, that shouldn't be a problem.
No. That should come really naturally to want to have that, to see that other side of that person and to meet their people.
Right. That's wild.
Fire dooring.
What?
When someone expects you to come running whenever they call, but they never answer when you're the one who needs something.
Ooh.
Yeah, anybody in that like that in your life? I honestly have not.
I don't think so.
I've never met anybody like that.
No, I can't think of a situation.
Yeah.
No, I can't think of that, but that is a really big red flag. They're using you.
Yeah.
Get out.
If they're not putting in equal effort, get out.
Yeah, that's, very toxic. Oh my goodness. I know these are all toxic, but.
This one, okay, so this one's toxic, but I don't really, it's on the toxic dating trend list, but I don't know if I necessarily think of it as toxic.
Okay.
So this one's called slow fading. When they start answering your texts with fewer and fewer words and start spending less and less time with you until they don't contact you at all. See, to me, that feels like the natural progression of most relationships, especially when you're dating. Because the whole point of dating is to find somebody that you want to be with long term.
Yeah.
If that's what you're looking for. And so if you're just dating people and you've only gone on a few dates, it's natural for that to kind of
kindle out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like it dissolves on its own.
That's better than being ghosted, I think.
Yeah.
But
and it's not really, because it's not really ghosting.
Because you know it's going to happen. Like you're expecting it to kind of go away. Mm-hmm. And you're like, you kind of are. I feel like if that's happening, you're probably on the same page.
Yeah,
I can't see a relationship where you would be like, maybe you really like the person and they like don't really like you as much. And so they're being really short with you. But like, I feel like you can tell how they feel if that happens. And then you have a warning sign, like it's time to go or we need to have a discussion.
Right. To me, it's more of an agreement that this isn't going where we want it to go.
Yeah.
For the most part, unless it's like you guys are super close and actually boyfriend and girlfriend, and then that happens, that's a whole other scenario. But if you're just like casually dating somebody and that happens, it just shows you that you guys aren't really meant to be. Because I know for me, if I'm interested in somebody, like I will pursue them. I don't care that I'm a female. Like I'll make it known that I want to get to know them better or that I want to spend more time with them.
Yeah.
But if I'm kind of backing off and they're backing off too, to me it's just clarification
for
that
sure
this isn't the way it's supposed to be and that there's somebody else out there.
I mean, I feel like that's how I ended like all of my like situationships, like where you're just talking. I feel like it always ends that way, where you like slowly stop talking. It's never just like, okay, we're done, goodbye. Unless they're like, unless it's like, but like I feel like there's nothing wrong with it. But yeah, again, if it's a committed relationship and they're doing this, then that is a completely different story.
Yeah, I think
they're
like,
too scared to tell you how they feel.
Right. I think a lot of these things need context to really tell what kind of relationship this was.
Right.
Because I think with most casual relationships, slow fading doesn't seem to be toxic, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The next one is phubbing. When someone meets up with you in person but stares at their phone the entire time instead of paying attention to you.
Ooh. Ew. Gross.
This hasn't happened to me either.
No, but that's... what's the point?
Yeah.
I would be like, excuse me, are we going to hang out or are you too busy?
Yeah.
Because if you are, I'll leave.
If
like,
someone can't make time for you, especially on a first date.
Yeah, they're not even trying.
I understand as you're like dating long term, like you're going to naturally whip out your phones more probably in between talking or whatever.
Yeah.
But like a first date, that's your first impression of someone.
That's rough.
I do have friends that do this though.
Yeah,
it's really obnoxious. And I try not to be that person, sometimes I can be. I feel like around family, I'll bring my phone out a lot.
Yeah, and that's
it's
fine.
Just natural.
Like if you're all just chilling, that's fine. But when you're like actually wanting to spend time with someone and hang out with them and do stuff, and then they're just like,
yeah.
I have a couple friends like that. I'm just like, oh my God.
Yeah. And
enjoy
then
the moment.
You'll be like talking to them and they like aren't responding at all. It's like, did you hear anything?
Yep.
It's such a pet peeve.
Yep.
Ugh.
I agree.
It's frustrating. Kitten fishing is the next trend. This is when someone lies on their dating profile by using an ancient picture of them or telling white lies in their bio.
Kitten fishing?
Yeah.
Oh, because they like used to be...
It's like catfish. But like...
I didn't even know you put those two together.
Yeah, but it's like they were younger.
Like
so
if they weren't
fishing.
technically lying about who they were, they're just lying that they don't look like that anymore.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's really sad that people do that. That actually makes me really sad for them because that means they're just really insecure.
Low self-esteem.
That actually kind of like is sad.
I mean, it kind of is, but I already gave this story once on previous episode. But this did happen to me once. It was that guy I went on a date with at the Mexican restaurant, and his pictures were like at least 15 years old. So like his age was like 45 or something, and his pictures looked like he was like in his 30s. So I actually complimented him about like how young he looked while we were talking. And he was like, "Oh, thanks. You look young too." And then I met him in person and I was like, "Okay, those were old and you were using filters and whatever else to like hide what's actually happening."
Did you even recognize him?
Not really.
Oh my God.
He did not look like his pictures. And it caught me off guard.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, like I'm not one to judge people off of appearances, but it's also really frustrating when you use those kinds of pictures because that's very deceiving.
Well, he could have also just been like, that was me a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like I mean,
I didn't bring it up. I wasn't like you.
Yeah.
He actually asked me. He was like, do I look as young in person as I do in my pictures? And I was like,
oh boy.
Yeah. I cannot be mean to people. Even if it's honest. I can't do it. It's so hard.
I mean, that kind of puts you in an awkward spot. You don't want to be like, no, you're old. Like, what are you supposed to say?
Right.
Oh my God, I didn't know this was like a common thing. That just makes me sad for the person. Like, because
it is common.
There's a heart issue there where it's like they're not trying to manipulate people. They're just like so insecure.
Yeah.
About growing up or like getting older. Like,
yeah.
But still, that's wrong.
Well, we
to
live
do.
in a world that teaches us that getting older is wrong, and
Yeah, especially when you're trying to date at age 45.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to like be honest with yourself.
right. I know this is something that men and women do, is they like lie about their age, or you know. But it's like, why lie though? Because like you're not being authentic, and people are gonna find out eventually.
Yeah.
So
One day you're going to have to tell them your real age, and then what?
yeah,
Like,
but it's a very common thing in like all the groups I'm in on Facebook with about dating
Wow.
and stuff. So
that is crazy.
I never heard of kitten fishing.
Kitten
though. Like that's
fishing.
funny.
I didn't even put that together. Catfish. Oh my God.
Cloaking is the next trend. This is when someone blocks you out of the blue, so you have zero way of contacting them to ask what made them run away.
Oh my God. Has that happened to you?
I don't think so. No.
I've had that happen with like friends or like acquaintances who just randomly started hating me.
Really?
But I've never had that happen like when I was talking to someone.
I've never had somebody block me out of the blue. I usually know why they block me.
No, can't relate.
But that's crazy.
Yeah. That's messed up.
Yeah,
To do.
see, that to me is like a step worse than ghosting.
Yeah.
I already hate ghosting in general because you should be able to like talk about it. Here's the funny thing. I say that, but then I'm like, I can't be mean. So here's what I do instead of ghosting. I'll tell the person I don't want to be in a relationship right now. I've had to let down like several guys saying
Yeah, that's
that,
not ghosting.
but I actually wanted to be in a relationship, just not with them. But like, so it's like half truth.
I mean, it's a good excuse though.
It's better than just ghosting altogether, right?
Yeah. At least they get some like
I don't know. I just couldn't be. It's so hard for me to like give constructive criticism and be like, here's the real reason why I don't want to talk to you anymore.
yeah.
This one girl shared in one of the groups that I'm in that this guy stopped talking to her because she like buttered her rolls the wrong way, according to him. He like went off on her, like sent her messages, and he was like, this isn't going to work out. You like demolished that butter, and it was not pretty to see. Yeah, he's like, that's not how you put butter on a roll, and I can't continue this.
The heck? Is that like Texas Roadhouse?
Probably.
I'm a dipper there. You gotta dip that in the butter.
Yeah. Okay. The
Oh,
next one's
Texas
ghosting. Everyone knows this one. When someone disappears without any explanation, leaving you wondering what the hell went wrong. I think ghosting is just really like sad.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's pretty hurtful too.
Yeah.
Especially like I could see it from a man's point of view, who they typically, not always, because I've definitely paid for my fair share of dates, but they typically will pay for the date, you know?
Yeah.
And for a woman to just like stop talking to them after that, after they put in the effort like that, I think that's messed up.
Well, because you're wondering what you did wrong, and then
Yeah.
you're blaming yourself, and even though it's not
Right.
your fault, unless
Right.
you did something. But like most of the time, they just like are bored with you, and they want something new and shiny.
Right. But it's, I mean, honestly, they save you the trouble because, you know, people who ghost have zero communication skills. So being in a relationship with somebody who ghosts you would never work out anyway.
Exactly.
Do not ever take back somebody who ghosts you.
That shows their true colors.
Yeah.
And you can be like, bye forever.
Yeah, you don't want to deal with that long term. The next one is called cushioning. This is when someone starts flirting with others, even though they're in a relationship. So they have a backup plan once they're single.
Ooh, that is,
Isn't this just called cheating?
yeah.
Like, is it?
But a
Isn't
lot
this
of people
just
are like,
cheating?
flirting isn't cheating. I'm like, how?
Yeah, everyone defines cheating as
You have to be
something different.
physical or something. I'm like, no. If they have, if they're talking to other people, if they're flirting with other people.
yeah, emotional affairs are just as damaging to a relationship
Yeah.
as physical affairs. And I think like if I were to find out that my boyfriend is flirting with other people, that'd be like a no.
Yeah.
Because once again, how can you trust them?
Right.
If you don't have trust, what do you have?
Well, and I feel like a lot of people think like, well, I'm not going to actually do anything with them. I'm just going to message them and flirt with them that way. That's not harming anything. Like,
yeah.
In some ways that's like not worse, but like it's still on the same level because you're still like having that idea going through and you still have to hide things from your significant other.
Yeah.
That's cheating, homie.
This is the shit that I get in my DMs is like, I'll get guys reaching out to me and being like, they'll be under the guise of trying to like find clothes for their wife or girlfriend. So they'll be like, I love your fashion hauls and can you do one at Lane Bryant? Because my wife likes to shop there. And then like, they'll keep replying to my stories and stuff and they'll be like, looking gorgeous today. Or like, oh, you're so beautiful. You're so hot. Or they'll just like send hard eyes or something. And I'm like,
oh my God.
And I'll call them out on it. I'll be like, yeah, your girlfriend's really pretty. Because most of them have like public profiles where I can like see. It's gross. It really grosses me out when guys do that.
And that's like the most painful way to end a relationship. Like, yeah, when you find out someone's done that, it's devastating. And
this is like a real thing with, I know women do this too, so I'm not generalizing.
Oh, for sure.
But like, this is another reason why relationships fail so early on, I feel like, nowadays, is because of social media. Like, it really does a lot of harm.
Yeah.
In building a connection between two people. Because if you have a man who's like following all these women just to like lust over them, what's that going to do for the relationship? Okay. So we have 3 more. The next one is almost. When someone acts like they're interested and even starts to treat you like a partner, but refuses to put a label on the relationship. This is a situationship, I would say.
No.
Isn't that the term? Because a situationship is basically a relationship without the label.
They just want to commit.
Yeah. They want you for their own gratification. Most likely sexually, but they don't actually want to have a real relationship.
Once again, they don't feel 100% about you, period.
Yeah. Right.
That's basically it. And not sugarcoat it.
And let me just say, because I've dealt with men like this in the last year, the only way to avoid a man like this is to know what you want going into it and to express what you want and need, because not everybody's looking for the same thing.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a long-term relationship, but somebody's just looking to have fun, you're not compatible. Don't even entertain it. Don't even be like, okay, yeah, well, we can still have fun, because like you're just going to get hurt in the end. You're not honoring what you want.
Got to be on the same page.
The next one's called benching or breadcrumbing. This is when they don't plan dates. However, they string you along via texting and intermittent calls to keep you on their roster with no intention of dating you. This actually is a lot like the first one. So I'm being kind of...
So you're a backup plan.
Yeah. Or it's like...
Booty call.
They won't call you. They won't talk to you for like 3 days. And then all of a sudden they'll text you and be like, you mean the world to me, to get you back in. So then you're like, oh, actually they really do care about me. And then they'll peace out for a bit. They just want to make sure they still have you. So once they know that they still have you, they just leave.
Ew.
And then they'll come back again. And they give you just enough for you to stay and want them, but not enough for an actual relationship.
Don't fall for that.
This is very common as well.
Don't fall for that, y'all. If that happens to you, see ya.
If it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. If they're not fully in, then they're fully out.
Exactly. You can't just have one foot in.
No.
The relationship.
No, I'm not saying go on a first date. And if they're not fully in, then goodbye. But if you have a relationship with this person and you've been with them for like months at a time and they're messing around like this, just leave.
Period.
Because they're not going to change. You can't change people.
Nope.
And you can't see the potential in people either. What people show you right now is who they really are. So is that something that you can handle? Some words to think about. Kylie's falling asleep. Am I boring, Kylie?
No.
Jeez. Okay. Negging is the last one on my list. This is when they insult you with a backhanded compliment to undermine your confidence.
Oh, God.
Like, this is an example. I don't usually date women like you, but you're different.
What? That's not even a compliment.
This happened to me.
That's not even a compliment. You're different?
Yeah. Okay. This is actually really gross. And I don't think I've talked about this on the podcast. This guy that I went on a date with, honestly, things were just kind of like physical more than anything.
Yeah.
We went out to eat that night, and he went on a tangent about how women, how do I word this? How women are the reason why men like lust over them. So he was like,
God.
he was raised in evangelical Christianity. Surprise, surprise.
Oh.
This is like one of the reasons I was like, I'm done dating these guys. Because honestly, they're just like I have my issues with the way I view things like that. Like, just because of purity culture, men have the same thing. They see us as the problem. And what essentially had happened is his girlfriend, like wife, almost, they have kids together and stuff, left him because he had a porn addiction. So instead of taking accountability for his addiction, he blamed women for it. So he went on an actual tangent at this restaurant about how, men always are the ones that have to like control their lust, but women can just like post themselves naked, wearing barely any clothing whenever they want. And he knew like what I did for a living. So then he like stopped himself and he was like, but not you. You're different. I'm like, actually, I'm not, because I do post pictures in my bathing suit. So I don't really know what you're trying to say or what you're trying to get at. And he was just like, it's just really frustrating to me how women can't take any accountability for causing us to do these things.
Oh, yeah, because you have no control.
Yeah. So that's a good example.
Ew, disgusting, gross. I would have
so
punched
gross.
him, probably.
He was so gross. We ended that conversation, and then he ended up texting me like a week later, going on another tangent, and then I blocked him straight up because he became so disrespectful.
Ew.
He was like, you all are the same. All of you women are the same. I was like, okay.
You ain't gonna find anyone with that. Disgusting. You can't go on a date with a woman and then bash women the whole time. Maybe if they're a very like traditional type of woman and they agree with you or something.
Yeah. It'd be like the same thing if I went on a date with a man and I was like, men suck. Blah, 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 blah.
Right.
And I don't think they do. I have a lot of problems with patriarchy. But I think men are great. Men can be great.
Yeah.
If they're kind people. But
I don't really trust men, but yeah.
But your man's good.
Yeah, no,
You know
I do.
what I mean?
I have really great men in my life. Like,
Right,
I know
exactly.
really good men. So, most, like, there are good men out there.
There are good men. That's all that
Period.
All right, so you found a few more.
Yeah, there's one
terms.
that was, like, trending in November last year called winter coating. Apparently it was on TikTok, but I never saw it. But basically, it's like having your old flame, like your ex or your old flame during the winter. You know, you have them during the holiday season. You get to have someone to cuddle with and spend your holiday time with. And then you get rid of them once the spring comes. Like a parka. You just kind of like put them in your closet. So basically they're only there for when you want them to be there. And then once you're done being lonely, you're like, okay, bye.
Okay. So this could actually work if it was like communicated that that's the agreed arrangement.
Right.
Some people like they get really lonely around the holidays and that's when they want somebody close.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of these things are like either a lack of communication or like just different values. You have to have these conversations because just some people that could work.
Yeah.
Also, don't take back an ex though. There's a reason they're an ex, right?
Yeah.
Do you believe in relationships like being restored? Like somebody breaking up and
I
being
think
exes and
you
then
can give a second chance, but you can't give a third. If they do it again, they're gone. Like, because sometimes there are people who have worked on themselves and maybe they like can admit their mistakes. And they can come back and be like, okay, a lot of times when people say I've changed, they haven't changed. But if you can actually tell they've changed, you can give them another try. But again, I believe in like 2 strikes, you're out. Like if you're going to do it again.
What if there was nothing actually wrong with the relationship? You just realize, you know what? We're not very compatible.
Yeah. Then don't try again. If you already know that.
Like what's the purpose of it?
Yeah.
I think people just do it because they're familiar with it.
Right.
It feels comfortable.
Yeah.
But in the end, you end up in the same place that you were in the beginning.
You're just settling, and that sucks.
Yeah.
Did we talk about love bombing yet? I know that one's really popular.
We did not.
Love bombing is, this is from goodmenproject.com. I don't know.
Cool. They're trying to make men a better
I think they're
species.
teaching men what to look
that's
out.
good.
Well,
there needs to be more people like that.
Yeah, I
like
think
more
that's what
men
they're doing.
teaching men how to do this, not like the crazy red pill guys.
the conversation no one else is having. So yeah, I guess it's just like, talking.
That's good.
Yeah. So love bombing is a pretty popular one. It's a type of emotional abuse where someone piles on the admiration and affection, especially early in a relationship or after hurting you to get what they want.
Yes. And that's a continuous cycle that'll go on forever.
Yeah. Usually it's right after you have a fight and it just keeps going and going, or they give you gifts.
Yup. I went through a decade of that.
Whoop.
It's pretty cray.
Yeah,
It gets you sucked in for sure.
Yeah, that's rough.
That's part of take it slow. Take it slow. Anyone who's trying to rush a relationship, red flag. There's no reason to rush something healthy. Just take it slow.
For sure. Mirroring is when someone acts and responds in the same ways you do and appears to be just like you or perfect for you to make the connection seem deeper than it is.
That's something that narcissists do. Once again, that's like a common tactic that narcissists will do is they'll literally form their personality around yours just to get you.
Yeah, so there's a difference between like wanting to relate to someone
Yeah.
and like being like, oh wow, that's really cool, than to like try to be like not real with them and to try to just tell them what they want to hear, because they're trying to get you in their trap.
Yes. And it works if you're not aware.
Yeah.
We did that one already.
Negging. Paper clipping?
No.
Okay, paper clipping is basically you get ghosted and then they come back and then they ghost you again. They pop up in your life only to make themselves feel good, not to advance the relationship in a healthy, positive way.
So it's like the first one. The very first one that we did. There's so
Zombieing.
many now. Yeah, zombieing.
Yeah, so it's pretty much the
Pretty
same
much
thing
the
as
same
zombieing.
thing, but they just keep doing it over and over.
We did breadcrumbing. Enmeshment. Enmeshment is between, it says it usually occurs between family members, but you may experience it with your partner too. It's when two people are heavily involved in each other's lives and selves so much that there's little to no sense of autonomy.
So like codependency.
Yeah,
in other words.
basically. I've been in a relationship like that and it's not fun. You lose your identity.
It is not.
Ugh.
Is that all the terms we have for today?
I think so. We had a good amount.
Yeah. So which ones have you guys dealt with? Are you dealing with any currently? Let us know. I'm curious to know.
Yeah.
This is just something to watch out for. Like we said before, a lot of these do depend on, number one, your relationship, and number two, like the details surrounding it. But just remember that you're never just an option in somebody's life. If somebody's treating you as such, you don't need to be in that anymore. Just walk away.
Don't deal with the bullshit.
It'll save you years and years of heartache. Sometimes I wish I could go back to myself in my 20s and just be like, psst, he'll never change.
Yeah, get out. Right, you
like
can't.
people don't change. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but like people don't. The only way somebody's going to change is if they decide they want to.
Yeah.
And for most people, they're not going to decide that on their own. They're not going to decide to go to therapy on their own. They're not going to decide to stop drinking alcohol. Like they're not going to make these decisions for themselves unless they hit like rock bottom. Most of the time, people don't necessarily care about changing these toxic behaviors. And so don't wait around for them, waiting to see their potential flourish. You don't need to deal with that. There's people that have been working on themselves for years and years that are out there that'll be a much better fit for you.
Period.
I just feel like I need to say that because
It's true.
I know for me, like I struggled a lot with my identity last year dating just because it's really hard to like keep putting yourself out there and keep either getting rejected or keep somehow you end up in like these situationships. or you end up in these relationships that are just like not at all healthy. So yeah, it's important to know that going into it, that it's probably not going to work out. If you start off with struggles, it's probably not going to work out. And what's the point? The person you're with should be an exciting time and something that comes naturally. You have anything else to add?
No, I think that was a great way to finish us off. All right, everyone. All right. Good luck out there if you're in the dating world.
Yes. Good luck to you. If you have a success story, we want to hear it. Maybe we'll read them in the next episode. Maybe like something coming up for Valentine's Day.
We could do like worst dating stories. Like everyone can send them in. That'd be fun. Do we have an email?
I mean, you guys can email me. It's Shaylee Daily.
I feel like we should have an email that goes.
We should have an email, but we don't. So for now, you can just email me. That's SHAYLEEDAILY@gmail. You can send stories there, send ideas there, send comments there if you'd like. Thanks for listening and being here this week. We always enjoy hanging out with you guys. Hope this episode was a little bit helpful. Yeah. Or informative, if anything else. If you're confused, because that's so many terms, me too. They're just going to keep adding some more terms.
It will just never end. All
right, guys. Hope you have a great week. We will see you next Friday.
Yay. Okay, bye.
Bye.